Looking at the PulseChain prices, so I mentioned it a moment ago, we are seeing a little bit of a dip back down today. Nothing dramatic, and honestly, it should be something that you expect after such pumpage over the last couple of weeks here. So we do have Pulse at 4 zeros and a 434. Pulse X now at 4 zeros, 23. Incentive is over $2, 212. Hex has been super volatile, and it's running hard every single time we get a pump. We saw RH tweet about it a little bit today. Hex is at it was at almost a penny earlier today. Like Hex on PulseChain itself was almost back to a penny earlier today. So it's at 0087 right now. We got eHex at 002. So we've had the combined hexes over a penny here within the last day even. So we're right there. And actually, I guess technically right now it still is. So yeah, things are still looking good despite this pullback. And it's just so funny. I mean, you can see how quickly people's emotions go when the candles go up and down like this. But, remember, we were a good percentage down at retesting the all-time lows just 2 weeks ago. And now we are up here again. And I feel really good about that. I feel great about this price action recently. You and I, Ewok, have discussed, like, since we started this pump, if we left those bottom zones forever, and I know you mentioned, like, we could maybe retest them again, or maybe just come back for a little bit of a pullback before starting to take off again, which that's kind of the ebbs and the flows of the market. But yeah, what do you make of where Pulse is right now?
Well, I think it'd be a push to get back to some of these lows. I do see it could pull back 50% from here. Down, well, not 50%. I don't think 50%, but you could see a 20 or 30% dip, but I don't see it coming all the way back down to this 0.0003 level. So, again, market health requires these. When we go on a run like this, you do need some people to exit out of the positions and just have it continue. If you want to see long-term continuation, you definitely don't want to see just all green candles straight up. That's never sustainable, because it will come back down just as hard as it went up and quite quickly. So, again, that little cup and handle played out, and it just took off from there. Now, again, we are having a little pullback here with this is the Pulse price. Let's take a look at incentive, because this one's been kind of interesting as well. It didn't. Well, it did. It is pulling back. They're all pulling back just about the same. Right. Let's take a look at the Pulse X Pulse. I want to see that ratio real quick here.
It's been pretty volatile the last couple of days too. I saw it went back up to 1 to 2 and then right back to like 1.75 again. So it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's 0.53 right now. So no, everything's, like I said, everything's looking good. This one has been on a major trajectory. So I don't know that it's really fair to look at this one a whole lot to determine what's going to happen, but definitely this Pulse price doesn't hurt to come down just a little bit more before it continues on.
Yeah. It's looking good. I mean, yeah, Pulse X against Pulse has been bullish for quite some time. I think that the Pulse price definitely is just such a good recovery off of the lows. I think we basically have clear skies ahead here for a little while. I'm not saying we're just going to pump right to the moon right now, but I mean, this is one of those things. I mean, again, we talk about it all the time, but it doesn't matter, because when prices are dead and the chart's red and people are not enthusiastic, they quiet down. They don't buy. People it's one thing to say like, oh yeah, I'll buy the depression, I'll buy the blood, I'll buy the bottom of the barrel prices. But when it's actually there, will you really do it? I mean, it does take cojones to actually do that when you're there. Now that we see this move right here, you're probably going to see some people. I mean, we are. I mean, like, look, all over Twitter, if you follow like any of those Pulse Alerts accounts, you're seeing 6 figures just bridged in over and over and over again, the last few days, which is really cool to see. But you can see, and that's understandable, like bigger players and whales and stuff like that, maybe they want to see a bit of a confirmation. But not that you're going to front run them necessarily, but I think that's a good clue. You start seeing that kind of money come in because they got the confirmations that they wanted. Well, it may have also been the rate cuts. I think some people might have been waiting for that so they could get an idea of where this macro economy was going right now, and maybe that tipped them off to start getting into here. But we're seeing big clips come in. So once again, I mean, it's just felt good as somebody who's been DCAing hardcore like the whole way as we've been down there. It feels good to pump a little bit. So what do you have here?
Yeah, this hex chart is the only one that's looking different as far as USD value goes. It's like you said earlier, it's going on a nice little tear. It did have a 17 or 18% pullback, but now this green candle has started again. So if you're not acquiring hex, not setting yourself up with some T shares at these prices, they're going to get away from you. And we're gonna start hearing those people that say, "Oh, I'll wait till it pulls back. I'll wait till it pulls back." And I'm telling you, when these things run like they do, or like they did the last time, you don't get those chances again. So, don't miss out on the opportunity that you thought you may never see again, to get, like I said, to lock up some of those T-shares, to get some hex at these prices, because once it's gone, I don't know that we'll come back down to this level on the next cycle. So just a warning.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we've been seeing, we had Crispy Man on a couple of weeks ago, but we've been seeing just in some of the recent numbers with stakers, like the amount of them growing and stuff like that, the duration growing and things, like prices start to go back up. And it's funny, just like buying, it almost seems like people staking and interacting with DeFi, and like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, this stuff does work. And, it has been flawless for the last 5 years. And, maybe this whole thing is going to work out inevitably as soon as prices start to go up again. So you start to see like the longer stakes and stuff like that. So